Hello, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Nathan. And today we are going to be having our own little mini book club. Kelly and I have recently read a book together titled The Minimalist Home by Joshua Becker. And so we decided we were each just going to read some of the quotes that we really enjoyed from this book and tell you our thoughts on these.
This quote says, "My definition of minimalism is the intentional promotion of things we most value and the removal of anything that distracts us from them." So to me, this says that as we look around our home and remove things like extra towels that we have to wash or extra clothes in our kids' drawers that they throw on the floor and end up in the dirty clothes because they're not really dirty. And so we're doing less laundry. As we remove those things, we have more time to spend on the things that really matter to us. Being able to do the things which we've always wanted to do but not found the time.
So in this book it says, "You might get 85 years on this planet. Don't spend 65 paying off a lifestyle you can't afford." That was by Kate Flanders. And so as I listen to that quote, I just think of how important it is for me to reduce the amount of money I spend on all the extra things I don't really care about in life, and instead make sure that I am spending money on the things that I really care about so that I don't have to work as hard, so that I don't have to spend as much time commuting or doing those sorts of things. And instead I can use that time and energy that I would have spent working, earning a living on the things that really matter to me in my life.
In this, he's talking about the different rooms in your house and the things that are in them. And he says to ask this question to yourself: do we need this item? Does it help the room accomplish one of its purposes by providing service, beauty, or meaning? And so to me, this talks about looking around our rooms and seeing what's inside them and making sure that the items serve that room's purpose. So for instance, our bedroom is a place where we can be together and we can talk and just spend time together. But if we have certain things in there, that will distract us and pull us away from doing that. And so some of the things we have looked at doing is putting away our devices earlier so that we can spend time together and not be distracted, and just making sure that things are done so that we have that time together in our bedroom.
Another thought from this book that I really liked. It says, "Never organize what you can discard." And so as I read this quote, it just makes me really think about how important it is. Our house isn't taken up by a whole bunch of things that don't matter. All of those things require more organization, more time spent putting them away, all of those sorts of things. And instead, if we just have the things that really matter to us and they all have a very specific place that they go, it makes it very easy to take care of our home. As a result of that, we were able to spend our time on those things that really mattered.
That also makes me think about keeping, a lot of us keep things that we might need someday, or we maybe will use this someday. And so it's looking around your house and finding those things that you have to store and maybe shuffle from closet to closet because it doesn't really have a purpose, but you keep thinking one day you'll use it. And so those are good things to look at and remove from your home. So this isn't a quote so much as it's an idea that was discussed in this book. It's called the Diderot effect. And this is talking about how sometimes when we buy something, say a shirt, and then we really like it, but then we bring it home and we realize we don't have a skirt or pants to wear it with. And so now we go out and buy a pair of pants. And we bring those pants home and now we don't have a belt or shoes, and it just keeps snowballing from there. The idea is that we need to look and be more conscious of what we bring into our home, and does it cause a cascading effect that causes us to buy more?
Another quote: "Ask yourself what is really important and then have the courage to build your home and life around that answer." I really enjoy this quote because I think one of the most difficult parts about changing our life is that we worry about what other people will think. We worry what our parents will think, we worry what our friends will think, and so it really takes a lot of courage to make those changes in your life. You might be worried about, well, if I remove all these things from my living room, people are going to come in and think, well, these people have sort of an empty room. And that really shouldn't be very important. What should be important is that our lives are what we want them to be, that we are able to spend the time with those that we care about, that we are able to do those things that are most important to us.
So my next quote says, "Think less about who you were and focus more on who you are becoming." And so to me, this talks about when we look around our home and sometimes we'll feel guilt or angst over the money we've spent on things. And we need to just let that go. It's spent, it's done. and think more about when you go into a store and what you're going to do in the future and how you're going to keep the things out of your home that you don't need, and a lot of times you don't actually want them.
So one of the other things that I think is really important about that is that it's very easy for us to think, oh, well, I bought that, it was kind of expensive, and so I don't want to, give it away, I don't want to sell it because I'm going to lose money on that. And that shouldn't be that important. What should be important is, are you still going to use that today? If you had to do it again, would you buy it again? If the answer to those things are no, you're not going to use it, you wouldn't buy it again, then you should probably just get rid of it and move on with your life. So just to wrap up, I think both of us really enjoyed this book. We really enjoyed what he had to say. We already lived some of these principles, but it's really good to get that another viewpoint on this idea of minimizing your home, making sure that it really is focused on the purpose that you want your home to have and the purpose you want your life to have.
I did really enjoy this book, and I think it's a really good way to cause you to start to look at your home and to see what is inside that you just don't need and what's taking up your time. And so it also is about finding the purpose of your home and what do you want your home to do for you. And as you look at this purpose, you can see what in your house isn't fulfilling it and what's taking you away from it. Whether that purpose, like me, is my kids and my family and my husband and us being together and spending time together and not having to spend it cleaning, organizing, putting away laundry. So as we continue to remove things from our house, we find that we have more time to spend with each other and to be with one another. So we hope you enjoyed hearing us talk about this book. And if any of you have read the book, we'd love to hear your thoughts and your ideas that you have implemented. And if you have any other ideas for books you would like us to read and review, you can leave them in the comments. Find us on Instagram, or our email address will be in the description below.
Thank you again for listening. I hope you're enjoying these videos.
And please subscribe.